Bimpe instead took her daughters to her father's compound and locked the girls up in a room. She started adding the liquid portion the juju man had given to her in their food daily. Welcome to Iyagba's Epic Tales. The title of today's story is Bimpe, the woman who turned her daughters into goats. Once upon a time, in a village, lived a young beautiful woman named Bimpe. Bimpe and her husband, Chief Akoni, lived together in their simple yet elegant mansion. Chief Akoni was a wealthy farmer. He was into both crop and livestock farming and supplies to other big towns in the city. Akoni attained wealth at a very young age after he inherited his father's lands and properties after his father's demise many years ago. He was conferred with a chieftaincy title due to his much wealth and benevolence. Many years ago, when Akoni made his intention known to Bimpe and asked for her hand in marriage, Bimpe was elated. She considered herself lucky because Chief Akoni was every young maiden's dream in the village. Bimpe was from a poor family. She and her mother went through hardship after her father died and left them with nothing. But everything changed and their fortune turned around for good when Bimpe married young Chief Akoni. It took 3 years after her marriage to Akoni before Bimpe was able to conceive. Their first child was a girl and they named her Nike. After the birth of Nike, Bimpe tried to have another child, but it was difficult. What kind of destiny and womb do I have? Why do I have to struggle to conceive and bear children? Why can't I have children easily like every other woman? Bimpe cried. But Akoni was not bothered because he loved Bimpe genuinely and was grateful that they have a daughter. At last, 6 years after their first daughter, Nike, was born, Bimpe conceived again and gave birth to another baby girl. One would have thought that Bimpe would be happy and grateful to God for being blessed with 2 children, but she was not. She was disappointed that her second baby was also a girl. She had hope that it would be a boy. As a matter of fact, she had gone to 2 native doctors who had assured her that the baby she was carrying was going to be a baby boy. Bimpe earnestly wanted to bear a son for her husband. This is because the custom of her husband's family required that a man wills 50% of all he has to the mother of his son or sons after they have been married for 15 years, thereby making the woman as wealthy also as the man, independent of her husband's wealth. This tradition was introduced by their forefathers many centuries ago as a way to show how much they appreciate their wives for helping them continue their lineage. My marriage will be 15 years, few years from now. I need to bear my husband a son so that I can get 50% of his wealth for myself, Bimpe said. Why do I have to be so unfortunate in this life? First, I was born into a wretched family, and just when I thought fortune has eventually smiled on me by bringing Akoni my way, my womb would not produce children speedily like other women. And when it produces only female children. Bimpe complained. No, I will not allow a golden opportunity slip off my hands. I will have to do something fast, she said again. So, one day, she visited a renowned medicine man in the next village called Baba Adio and told him of her desire to conceive and bear a son very fast for her husband. Baba Adio made some prayers and consultations, after which he told her to go back home and forget her request of having a son, as she is not destined to have one. And he advised her to love and embrace her daughters as their God's gifts to her. But Bimpe was not satisfied and felt disappointed that the medicine man could not help her. Few minutes after, and few steps away from the medicine man's compound, Bimpe met a young man who ran up to her and told her that he could help her. The young man introduced himself as Ogungbile and one of the senior helper to the medicine man Baba Adio. He told Bimpe that he has discovered and had attained greater power than that of his master. He began performing some magics by muttering some words. He turned a stone into a plant. He turned a plant into a cloth, and then a hen which was walking close by into a lizard. All this he did to make Bimpe believe that he can help her with whatever she wanted. He told Bimpe to come for a proper consultation in 2 days' time, when his master Baba Adio would be traveling and would not be around. On the said day, Ogungbile told Bimpe that indeed she has been destined to have only 2 children and daughters, but that they can change the hands of destiny if she would make a costly sacrifice to his god Yewure, who is the only one that can help her and change her destiny. Bimpe immediately said that she was ready to spend any amount for whatever sacrifice his god wanted. Yewure requests that you give him 2 human goats in exchange for his son, Ogungbile said. Human goats? Bimpe asked, confused. She didn't know what he meant by human goats. Are there some kind of goat species? How do they look? And what market can she find them? She wondered. While still in her confused state, Ogungbile brought out a liquid portion and handed it over to her. Take this and add it into your daughter's food for 14 days, after which they will transform into goats. Bring them to me so that I can offer them as sacrifice to Yewure, my god, and then you will be able to conceive and bear more sons in exchange as much as you like. All of what Ogungbile told Bimpe to do sounded weird. How can she turn her own daughters into goats? What will she tell her husband happened to their daughters? And what will people say? Bimpe thought as she left the juju man's place. She thought about the whole thing for many days, and then she decided to go ahead with it. I guess this is the sacrifice I will have to pay to never live a life of poverty again, and for me to acquire wealth for myself in case of any future negative occurrence, Bimpe said. She told her husband that she was traveling and would be taking their daughters with her to a maternal village for a family ceremony. This was her plan. Bimpe instead took her daughters to her father's compound and locked the girls up in a room. She started adding the liquid portion the juju man had given to her in their food daily. Meanwhile, one amongst the young men who works with Baba Adio got to find out about Ogungbile's dealing with Bimpe while their master was away. He immediately informed his master, Baba Adio, when he returned back from his trip. But Ogungbile, sensing that trouble was looming, ran into hiding before his master could catch up with him and punish him. In order to stop Bimpe and save her innocent daughters, Baba Adio traveled to Bimpe's village and informed her husband, Chief Akoni, of all that his wife has been up to, and told him that they needed to act fast and save the girls. Chief Akoni, together with some of his men, looked for Bimpe in her maternal grandmother's village for days, but could not find her. They returned back to their village sad and heartbroken. But 3 days later, they met a woman who told them that she had seen Bimpe in her father's compound. Chief Akoni and Baba Adio quickly ran to Bimpe's father's compound. When they arrived, it was too late, for they saw Bimpe dragging out 2 young goats out of the compound. She was shocked to see them there, and she made an attempt to cook up a story as to why she was there and what she was doing with the goats. Baba Adio immediately started chanting and praying and sprinkling some water on the goats. Then the goats transformed back into humans, revealing that they were indeed Bimpe's daughter. Baba Adio revealed that Yewunre was an evil demon who requires human goats from those who desire and search for unlimited evil power from him, and that Ogungbile was trying to lure Bimpe to turn her children into goats for him to offer to Yewunre in exchange for evil power for himself. After the revelation, Bimpe realized that Ogungbile had capitalized on her desperation and greed for his own selfish interest. Chief Akoni was disappointed at Bimpe. He had loved her and their daughter so much that he had already made sacrifices to his forefathers to allow him honor his wife with 50% of his wealth when it was time, even though she had not borne him a son. Bimpe was banished from the village, as it was agreed by everyone that such an evil woman and mother cannot be allowed to live amongst them. Bimpe left her village with nothing and settled in a faraway village where she tells her story and warns the future generations of the danger and consequences of greed and desperation for wealth till this day. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Did you learn anything from this story? I would like to know. Please share in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video. Bye.